Today I'm going to show you a portfolio which has beat the S&P 500 by 4% annualized over the past 5 years. And no, it does not involve picking stocks or market timing or trying to pick the next Nvidia. In fact, it's a strategy based on decades worth of academic research implemented into a simple 4 ETF portfolio. And I call it the 4 quadrant portfolio. Today we will talk about what the 4 quadrant portfolio actually is, who is it for, why it works, and what type of risks do you need to understand before implementing it in your own portfolios. Hi, I'm your host, Dr. Abhishek Gadre. I'm a practicing physician, and welcome to the Money Matters MD Show. Today, I'm going to share with you something really special. It's a multi-factor 4-quadrant portfolio, which is based on factor investing. It's an evidence-based way of practically implementing decades worth of research which have shown all of these different factors, which are ways to try to outperform the market. Now, let me acknowledge something before I move on. Most people will be just fine buying and holding something like a 3-fund portfolio, which holds a total market portfolio within the US, international, and some bonds, and most people will be just fine doing that. But if you're okay with a little bit of complexity, you're okay with having multiple ETFs within your portfolio and trying to rebalance it in hopes of trying to achieve a little bit more alpha, and you believe in factor investing, you believe in research, this portfolio might be for you. Now, the 4 quadrants of this investment portfolio basically include the first quadrant, which is growth at a reasonable price. This is basically a large cap growth portfolio, which is screened for quality and profitability. And the underlying ETF in this quadrant is GARP, which is GARP. The second quadrant of this portfolio is a momentum strategy, which is 25% of SPMO, which is Invesco Momentum ETF, which basically screens for the most winning stocks in the S&P 500 over the last 6 months and basically maintains them and updates this portfolio every 6 months. Now, the third quadrant of this portfolio is a large cap value fund with a profitability screen, which is Avantis large cap value, which is AVLV. Now, this fund basically avoids any large cap value traps, which appear to have a low PE ratio, but they don't really have a whole bunch of growth potential in the future. Now, the fourth and final quadrant of this portfolio is a small cap value with a profitability screen, which is AVUV, which is again the Avantis small cap value fund. Overall, if you slice and dice this portfolio, it comes out to be a balance of 50% growth and 50% value. The growth side of the portfolio is the momentum and the GARP, and the value side of the portfolio is basically the large and the small value quadrants. If you slice and dice it by size, it's about 75% large cap and 25% small cap. The only small cap portion of the portfolio is AVUV, which is about 25%, which is one quadrant. Now, if you backtest this portfolio and compare it to the S&P 500, I'll show you a backtest on the screen. We'll take VOO as a benchmark, which is the Vanguard S&P 500 fund. The VOO fund over the last 5 years has done 13.6%, and this 4-quadrant portfolio has performed 17.3% over the last 5 years. And if you look at the max drawdown, it is actually lower for the 4-quadrant portfolio, which is around 21%, and S&P 500 actually fell down a little bit more by 24%. Now, if you look at the overall Sharpe ratio, which is the risk-adjusted return, it is higher for the 4-quadrant portfolio, which is around 0.74%. If you look at the Sortini ratios and Ulcer index, they're both actually much lower for the 4-quadrant portfolio. Now, the beauty of this portfolio is that it doesn't just rely on the large cap growth rally, which has happened over the last several years. It doesn't just rely only on the AI stocks. It doesn't ignore them either. It's 50% growth and 50% value. Now, you have to remember to rebalance it at least once a year to try to stay true to each quadrant, because you really don't know in the future if value is going to take over or if small cap is going to take over. Now, if you look at the market using a Morningstar style box categories, large, mid, and small, growth, value, and blend, I've specifically avoided the small cap growth quadrant in this particular portfolio, because research actually shows these are often the most speculative stocks and have the lowest long-term return in any portfolio over the last century. Now, one thought experiment is if you're trying to outperform the market, you can't essentially be the market. You have to be different than the market in a few specific ways to try to get a different result. Trying to be different is hard because you're always trying to compare your portfolio outcome with the underlying S&P 500 index. And whenever your portfolio starts lagging the index, you might get a little bit more anxious. Now, this is a high risk, high reward portfolio. This is not for somebody who can't tolerate being away from the S&P 500. You have to be okay with performing a little bit differently than the underlying index. But the hope is that over several decades worth of investing, because you're incorporating all of these research-based factors, value, size, profitability, and quality and momentum, you're trying to include all of these five research-based factors within one portfolio. The hope is that you will eventually outperform if you're able to rebalance and hold this portfolio in the very long run and try to keep your costs really low. If you're a financial nerd like me and you love financial planning, you will love Bolden.com. It's one of the best financial planning softwares out there. You can compare different scenarios. You can run Monte Carlo analyses. You can even run scenarios regarding different Roth conversion plans. Now, if you are interested in Bolden.com, please use my affiliate link in the description down below. It does support the channel, and thank you for doing that. Now, another interesting implementation of this 4-quadrant portfolio is in the international side. If you try to design a 4-quadrant portfolio in the international equity side, it might look something like this. Now, there is no GARP equivalent ETF in the international side. If there is, you please let me know. The closest one I could find was just a simple large cap growth international ETF, something like EFG. Now, the momentum ETF equivalent to SPMO from Invesco itself is IDMO. Now, the AVLV can just be replaced by the Avantis equivalent for the international ETF side, which is AVIV. And the small cap value on the international can just be replaced by its counterpart in Avantis, which is AVDV. Again, these are all low-cost, broadly diversified ETFs, which do implement factor investing style. Now, if you test this portfolio going back 5 years with VXUS, which is just the Vanguard Total International Stock Market ETF. Now, roughly, the international markets have yielded around 10.2% over the last 5 years, and this 4-quadrant portfolio has returned around 12.7%, which is 2.5% higher than the VXUS. Now, again, if you look at the max drawdowns, which is pretty similar in the two portfolios, if you look at the Sharpe and the Sortini ratios, they are both better in the 4-quadrant portfolio within the international style of investing as well. Now, I'll acknowledge one thing. This is really hard to implement this 4-quadrant portfolio in emerging markets. But if you really want to, you can just get one fund from Avantis, which is AVEM. And AVEM, if you compare it to the index counterpart from Vanguard, which is VWO, AVEM has outperformed VWO over the past 6.5 years. VWO has returned 9% and AVEM has returned 13.5%, which is off by like 4.5%. So which shows that tilt towards value and profitability even works on the emerging market side. Now, I want you to also have a little bit of fixed income in your portfolio. And this 4-quadrant strategy does not talk about any fixed income. This is only meant for the equity sleeve. Now, if you try to implement this portfolio, it's quite complex. It's 4 ETFs for US, 4 ETFs for developed international, 1 ETF for emerging markets, and 1 ETF for fixed income. That all combines into 10 ETF portfolio. I know it can be really, really complicated to manage a 10 ETF portfolio. If you can stomach that, if you are okay with rebalancing all of this every time you try to invest in it, you can make it a little bit more simpler. So if you're investing every single month, maybe you can just buy 1 ETF every month and move on to the second and the third every single month, and just once a year rebalance all of it back to whatever your asset allocation was. This 4-quadrant portfolio doesn't govern how much US, how much international. That's pretty much up to you. I have made whole separate videos on how to recession-proof your portfolio. But one thing you have to remember, the market valuations are getting higher. And it's possible that you're buying more and more into some kind of an index bubble, and the large cap growth is getting bigger and bigger, and the concentration risk is increasing. Now, this portfolio doesn't ignore that. It does balance growth and value. And again, you'll argue that the GARP and momentum are probably both buying similar type of large cap stocks, maybe a little bit more of Nvidia and a little bit more of Micron and more of the winning stocks, you might say. But again, if you want to try to beat the underlying index, you will have to have a little bit more of a concentration in some type of stocks than others. And instead of trying to manually buy winning stocks yourself, that strategy has shown to not actually work. Stock picking doesn't seem to work for individual investors in the long run, but factor investing seems to work. So I would argue instead of trying to pick individual stocks, if you want to look for a little bit more concentration and bet on a few stocks over others, it is much better to try to automate that process and rely on these factor-based ETFs so that you don't have to manually define when to actually sell these stocks. Now, that's often the hardest part. You might be able to pick a stock at the right time and maybe it goes up, and you might have a hard time defining when actually you're going to sell the stock. If you have a rules-based ETF, which is automatically doing it, it unburdens you from trying to figure out when to get in or out of a position. You're just long-term buying and holding and trying to rebalance this portfolio long-term, and you can just dollar cost average into this portfolio. I know it's a little complex to do that, but if you're interested in trying to outperform the market, have a little bit of alpha, this would be an interesting approach. Now, just so you remember, this is not financial advice. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Now, if you're interested in current market valuations and different metrics to evaluate them, I have a whole separate video on the AI bubble risk that everyone's talking about. And I also have a whole separate video on how to recession-proof your portfolio against such an AI bubble risk. If you're interested, I will add links to all of these videos in the description down below. Now, this 4-quadrant portfolio has outperformed by 4% over the last 5 years, but I know this outperformance 4% may not last over the long run, but it's possible that because of all of these multi-factor implementations, something like even 0.5% or 1% outperformance over several decades is a massive improvement for your portfolio. Now, if you don't like complexity and if you just want to buy a single fund and hold on to it, there is multiple options for doing just that. And I have made a separate video if you're interested in something like that, which is one fund for life. I will admit I have come up with this 4-quadrant portfolio and I have implemented it myself in my own tax advantage accounts. And again, it's yet to be seen how this will perform over the next coming decade, but we'll review it and find out together. Now, let me just explain why I chose Avantis funds over Vanguard funds within the value quadrants of this 4-quadrant strategy. So for the large value segment, I could have chosen VTV, which is a very popular large value Vanguard ETF, but instead I chose something like AVLV, which is the Avantis equivalent. And basically the difference between VTV and AVLV is the Avantis equivalent as a profitability screen. So basically, AVLV avoids any value traps, any large value traps which might do poorly in the future. And you're getting companies at good valuations who are still profitable. And same thing with small cap value. I could have chosen VBR, which is a small cap value fund from Vanguard. Now, instead, I chose AVUV, which is a small cap value from Avantis. Again, it gets rid of any value traps in the small cap value category. And if you backtest AVUV and VBR, AVUV has done fantastically well, and so has AVLV, the large cap brother, compared to any of the Vanguard large or small cap ones. Now, the beauty of this 4-quadrant strategy is the momentum aspect. So if the momentum goes from large cap growth towards large cap value in the future, the momentum ETF is opportunistic. It'll switch to value eventually. There will be a drawdown which you will have to live through, but momentum ETFs in the longer run are more opportunistic. Again, they change. They're active investments. Again, they follow an index underlying, but the portfolio refreshes every 6 months and basically picks up whatever the highest momentum stocks are in the S&P 500. Now, the overall point of this portfolio is a multi-factor strategy. You put as many factors as you possibly can within one portfolio and they work together. And again, market goes through cycles. You might have a few years in which value predominates. And again, you might have a period in which small predominates or maybe growth predominates. If you learned something useful today, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help a lot. Comment down below if you have any thoughts on this portfolio or factor investing in general. Please like and share this video. Thank you for watching. Money Matters MD, over and out.